I didn't mean to go live, but we are live, so I guess we're going live. I didn't even have my camera set up, and I accidentally hit live, so welcome. Let me turn my music off. All right, so we're starting a couple moments early there. Some people can join us here in a minute. And so we're starting a couple moments early there. Pause that. Some people can join us. We'll mute that. And how's everybody doing? I didn't know that we were going live, but apparently we are. So, anyways, hopefully I sound okay. I have a new microphone that I'm testing out. This is the Rode Podcaster. Up until just a few days ago, in fact, my last video, the Rode NTH100 video, was recorded on a NT USB Mini. And so I have decided that I'm going to try a different Rode product, and I'm going with this Podcaster. Still a USB microphone, but it is a little bit supposed to be better quality. So I guess we'll find out as we go here. Can everybody hear me okay? Looks like we've got some questions here to answer, but we'll wait for a few more people to join, and then we will answer that. We will, since I have a little bit of bonus time, we have 5 extra minutes. We'll give them a couple minutes to hop in before we get started here. Man, that light's bright. Give me a moment. I'm going to turn it down. There. That's better. It's not glaring in my face. That was freaky bright. So anyways, if you're just joining, we were supposed to start at 7 p.m. and I went to set my camera up and put it in place here. And as soon as I did that, I must have bumped go live. And so without even having everything ready to go, boom, we're live. So anyways, welcome everybody. We're going to get it all started here and get your answers to the questions. I see a bunch of them have already started. So at 7 o'clock, we'll give it a couple more minutes, let a few more people join in, and then right at 7, we will answer the first question, which looks like it's from somebody named Lenny Benny. So we will get to that question in a moment, but we will give you all a few more moments to trickle in here. We've got 14 people online at the moment. So hopefully my hair looks all right. Honestly, I was just setting up my camera and then boom, you're live. I'm like, oh crap. So anyways, all right. 3 more minutes and then we will get to the questions. How did everybody's week go? Oh, by the way, did you see my shirt here? Chill. It's kind of hard to see around that. There we go. Chill. Stand up. Chill. There you go. Hope you had a good week at work, and then you are able to chill this weekend and enjoy the time. And bear with me, won't that computer behind me is bugging me? I'm going to turn it off. Yes, shut down. All right, so I have gotten asked. Now, this is not in the comments, but I have gotten asked before, what kind of computer do I use? And I'm actually a really big fan of MSI products, and so I use an MSI, and it's a very small computer. It's right here. Oh, hold on. That is my computer. It's like this big, extremely small. So, anyways, all right. So let's see here. We have 2 minutes, but I want to answer these questions, and we only have an hour, so let's get at it. All right. So the first question from Lenny Benny. Let's see. Hi, Dave. Love your honest content. What is your opinion on sound demos? Might as well get it started hot and heavy right off the bat. Okay, sound demos. Look, they've been going on for a long time, and it was kind of a Zeos thing for the longest time, and some others have started doing them. And you get sound demos with speakers and headphones and IEMs. And I've always had a concern about sound demos. I don't really find them very reliable. And the truth of the matter is, sound demos, no matter how they are recorded, when they get uploaded, processed through YouTube, and then they're spit back out from your computer, going into whatever type of setup you have, whether it be a DAC and an amp or a dongle, or straight into the DAC from the computer or the laptop or the phone, whatever you're watching, and then the headphones, IEMs, or speakers that you're listening to, all of that is influencing the sound. So you're not really getting the true reproduction of the recording. And also, not all ears are the same. And depending on what type of model, head shape, or which way they're recording them, that can affect things. So there's a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration with a sound demo as far as how it's being impacted. So you're not really going to get a true representation. I personally believe that speaker demos sound better and more accurate than headphone and IEM demos. And if you can't just put faith in a sound demo and be like, yep, that's what it's going to sound like, and truly think that when it comes, because more than likely you're going to be shocked when you put them in your ears. It, no, for the most part, normally for me, on average, sounds nothing like a demo that I heard. That's my opinion on sound demos. They're not reliable, and I really don't see a reason for them. Just me. Use your own ears and let that be your own sound demo. All right, next question. Let's see here. This one, let's see. Hi, Dave. I like your reviews on the headset. I'm Jacob from Israel. I have the Meze Empyrean headphones, and I really like them. Keep up the reviews. Hey, yeah, the Meze Empyrean is an amazing headphone. It does so many things right, and it's just a nice, chill, calming, relaxing headphone that just kind of puts you in the spot. Now, is it the most accurate and neutral and studio riff? No, but is it one that you can sit back and just relax and enjoy over a weekend? Absolutely. All right, let's see here. Try not to skip your questions, are coming in hot and heavy. Okay, sound demos next. Do you think my iPhone with an Apple dongle DAC is enough to power the Rode NTH 100s? I need something for walks. Do they make plastic noises? Great channel. You're the gentleman. God bless you. Well, thank you. Okay, so the cable on them is really long. It's 8 foot long. It is a proprietary cable. It's pretty hard to be able to find a replacement. You can order replacements from Rode that are 1.2 meters, which is about 4 foot. So that might work for portable use. The cable does have just a little bit of noise to it, a little bit that I noticed. I didn't take them walking because I had the big, huge 8 foot cable. And it wasn't really something that I felt was part of my use case for them. So as far as the Apple dongle and iPhone, I don't have experience with iPhone. I am an Android and PC guy through and through. Apple products really don't exist in my household except for my wife, who has a Mini, and she uses it at work. So that's about the only Apple product. As far as the Apple dongle, it supposedly sounds better with Apple phones than Androids. I'm not a huge fan of it on my Android phone, so I can't really answer that question for you. But I do use it with other dongles, and it works pretty well. You are getting close to max volumes, though, on some tracks and things like that. So depending on the actual dongle that you're using, but I can't answer it about the Apple dongle. All right, let's see here. But it is fairly easy to drive. Next, Brad Smith. Very generic name. Sorry. Anyways. Hey, Dave. Love your honesty. Can you explain differences between neutral, flat, and musical? Okay. So flat. Flat is a flat line. It's when everything is just evened out and it's literally flat line. It's like if you use an EQ and you set it on flat, everything just sounds me. You have no life, and if you've ever heard a singer that doesn't articulate the notes and the keys properly and the tones properly, and they just sound flat, that's the way it's going to sound. That's flat. Neutral, on the other hand, has peaks and valleys and ups and downs. And in it, neutral is what is the reproduction and accurate reproduction of tone and note and key. And yes, it can be elevated, it can be recessed. It just depends on that. And that's how neutral plays. If you look at a neutral EQ, it's going to kind of look like this. And then musical is the non-studio version, kind of say, where it's like a little elevated in certain areas. Oops, sorry, to more enhance the sound. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, most of us enjoy the musical side of things because it adds a little extra. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, let's see here. Oh, Brad asks another question. Dave, can you make an honest audiophile ranking list of reviewers? Or is that a list of one? Honestly, I don't like to pit reviewers against each other. We're all in it for the same reasons. And I think that it's up to the viewers to judge us as reviewers and to compare us and to find the reviewer that best matches you. And I would prefer that you did your own research rather than me telling you. Now, I could, if you're all interested, put it in the comments that I could put together some that I highly recommend if you wanted, but I'm not really comfortable doing that. All right, but I will put that out there. But currently at this time, in my opinion, I wouldn't say it's a list of one though. Tough question. Okay, Lenny Benny asks another question. Why you no longer talk about KZ products? Will you ever review them again? Okay, KZ. I mentioned this in the last live stream, and probably if you've asked questions about KZ CCA products, you've noticed I haven't responded. And the reason for it is I do believe that at the time, KZ knew what they were doing, and they ethically and morally knew what they were doing. And as a business, they chose to use to kind of cheat the system to get more clicks, so to speak, to get more cash. And yes, for the most part, if they put in 50 drivers in each side, 49 of them barely worked and one did all the work, so to speak. And so technically, did they lie? No. But did they cheat the system? Yes. And I find that to be ethically wrong, and I don't agree with it. And I do not want to support or endorse or recommend a company that isn't ethically correct. And until KZ changes their ways and proves to the community that they have improved and done better quality controls and aren't cheating the system and they are actually doing what they're claiming, I'm not going to review their products. I'm not going to recommend their products. All right, let's see. Ananda versus Hi-Fiman XS. I still haven't heard the XS. I want one so bad. I want to try to get one in. All right, let's see. Honest Audiophile, have you used the QLX 5K? I just got mine 3 days ago and cannot believe how amazing it is. And their accompanying app and customization is phenomenal. Wade, I'm glad you enjoy it. And my experience with the 5K is a total opposite of yours. I did not think it sounded good unless you used all the EQs. I found it to be very cheap feeling, and I found the app to be very clunky and it's just a frustration to use. I'm not a fan of the 5K, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. To each their own. Let's see here. Any thoughts on the new, oops, hold on, NTH 100 headphone? I just did a review of it. Highly recommend that you go check that out. Love Road. Spoiler alert. Let's see. Hi, Dave. In your view, what is the best open and close back headphones you have heard and the best IEM? Okay. He didn't mention a price tag. No price tag mentioned here by Anthony. So I'm going to say the best that I've heard, IEM wise, that's going to be the CTM Clear Tune Monitor DaVinci 10, and the best open back headphone that I have heard overall. It's kind of hard because there's a lot of them, but I would have probably the Sonoma, but the Susvara and the Utopia are right up there too. As far as closebacks, best closeback, I haven't heard a ton of closebacks, like really expensive ones, really good ones. So the Ether C would be probably the best closeback that I've heard, along with the Odyssey um, LCD to closed. And I know there's and the XC, but I haven't heard the new XC, so I don't know exactly. Um, so that's kind of a tough question for me. I haven't heard a lot of closebacks, especially of the better ones. I need to get more closebacks in. Good question. All right, let's see here. Loving the content, thanks. If you could choose just one out of Dunu, the Titan S Kato, the Timeless, or the S12, which one would you choose for the desert? For the desert, I would take the Kato. And the reason for that is the Kato is kind of like the all-arounder. It can give me all the information I need, very detailed, and but yet also musical at the same time. Whereas the other ones are a little leaning one way or the other. So the Kato is kind of like the more all-arounder. Let's see here. Audio seems good. Thank you. Oh, by the way, speaking of, I do have a new microphone that I'm trying out here. So all of my previous videos that you guys have been watching was that little black one, the NT USB Mini, and this is the Rode Podcaster. So um, giving it a try and seeing if it'll stick. All right, let's see here. If all your gear disappeared tomorrow, what would be the first three items you would repurchase? Okay, so I would purchase the first three things I would purchase. The MyTech Liberty DAC, the Headamp GSX Mini, and the Rawson Rad Zero. Okay, I mean, cables, of course. Let's see here. That's actually a really good question. I've never been asked that one. Do apologize, it's flipping on me here. Okay, I'm definitely chilling this weekend with my new pair of HD 600Ss. What would be a good closeback with similar performance for when I need that isolation? Same price point or a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Odyssey LCD2 closed is a very good closeback. You also have the Rode NTH 100, and yeah, I'd stick with those two. All right, let's see here. Oh, you could also go with Fostex T60 Argon. Do you think KZ is alone? That's a good question. I don't want to be like skeptical of everything. I don't want to doubt every single IEM maker. And I don't want to be like always, doubting that a manufacturer is cheating us. And I don't think most of them are. But you have to remember KZ is associated with a few other companies. So, yeah, I don't think they're alone. I think it does stay within their family for the most part. Until any other facts come out, I'm not going to, go around debating everything. I'm not going to do a review and go, okay, this says it has 10 drivers. Does it? I'm just going to honestly believe the manufacturer and be like, okay, you guys are doing what you're supposed to do. And you're telling me what you're saying. And I'm going to trust you. Let's see here, Chiron. Some reviewers say that the amplifiers affect soundstage depth. Have you seen a square wave output from an amplifier? It's extremely accurate. So how could an amplifier affect soundstage? I really don't believe in that a whole lot as far as, measurements and graphs and things. Now, I haven't researched it, so I'm going to leave it at that. Do amplifiers affect soundstage? Probably not. Actually, it's because an amplifier is just reproducing what the DAC's giving it and what the track has in it, if it's done properly. Now, I think where you get the majority of, oh, I hear a huge wide difference in soundstage, or I hear a smaller difference, which you can on amplifiers. I think that reflection is on like how the power stage is and how they're built with op amps and things like that. I don't think that it's actually changing the actual present, tune, so to speak. It's just the way that it presents overall. It's not changing the actual soundstage. If I misunderstood your question, I'm sorry, but I have not done the technical thing with sound waves and all that kind of stuff. Way over my head. All right, let's see here. Um, have you tried the Coney pads for the Aria headphones, and what are your thoughts on them? I haven't. Somebody recommended that I do that. I'm very content with the stock pads on there, but I might have to bring some Coney pads in and give that a try. All right, let's see here. Oops. Hi, Dave. After hearing so much under $100 IEMs like the Aria T3 Plus, Dauntless, which one will you suggest? It depends on what you're looking for. But my recommendations for that are going to be T2, Dauntless, Titan S, T3 Plus. Those are the kind of the ones that stand out. There's tons more in there that I recommend, obviously, but those are kind of my go-tos. Let's see. What's your opinion on the IE 600 versus cheaper, like the 7 hertz timeless? I haven't heard the IE 600. It looks really interesting. A little pricey though, but I'd love to hear it. Let's see. Any thoughts on the triple one Olina? I haven't gotten one in yet. I really want one, and hoping to get one in to review. All right, let's see here. Have you compared the NTH 100 with the Austrian Audio H1 X55s? No, I've only heard the X55 briefly at Sweetwater. I think it was Sweetwater, and not enough to do a comparison. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Have you tried the HE400 SE or the X4? Haven't heard either one of those. If so, what do you think about it? How good is the imaging? I want to buy it as my first open back. Have not heard those. Would like to get one in at some point. They're fairly cheap for planars. Let's see here. I'd send you my Olina, but they're now my go-to. Enjoying them way too much right now. That's understandable. Thank you, Paul, for the offer. Let's see here. GMAC vids under 600. What would you suggest for the best 3D sound depth for both an IEM and headphone DAP portable? Thanks, and you are awesome. Love the reviews. Okay, so for DAPs, I don't have, and it's kind of weird. I have a $300 DAP, and then I have like a $2,000 DAP. So I'm kind of missing in there. Sony A105 would be the DAP, unless you want to go all the way up to the WM1A. The Sony, you have a lot of options to choose with in regards to filters and things like that can really enhance that type of thing. So I really enjoy the Sony. You can either have it sound very much a direct source, or you can enhance it and boost it and all kinds of things. So the Sonys are really cool in that regard. As far as $600 best sounding IEM and headphone for soundstage, it's a tough question. $600 you can get you can get an Ananda now. They have an amazing soundstage. You could also, if you don't want to have a little bit of that brightness and forwardness that the Ananda has, you could go with a 660S, which is a little bit more mellow. Doesn't quite have the soundstage, but does really good imaging and depth and layering type of thing. IEMs, that's very wide open. There's all kinds out there in that price point, and you could do ADV M5 1D has an amazing soundstage. The You can do Moondrop Blessing 2. There's so many others. I can't think. I mean, this is crazy. That's IEMs with soundstage is there's a lot of options out there for me. Sorry. All right, let's see here. I keep hearing that products have an organic sound signature. What does organic mean? Organic's kind of a little bit more like an earthy, a little more warm than a neutral warm. Very mellow and lushy type of sound is organic. That's the way I would think of it as sounding. Opinions about R2R. R2R, I love actually. Really enjoy it. I think R2R does a very good job of adding in just what I was talking about, that neutral, natural tendencies of things. It's a little bit on the warm side. You do have to be careful what you pair it with. If you pair it with a warmer set of speakers, headphones, or IEMs, it's going to sound very warm and thick. But if you pair it with a good analytical, neutralish sounding headphone IEM or speaker, the R2R will kind of enhance that and just give you a nice warm touch and a little bit kiss of that musicality that you're looking for. I really do enjoy R2R. I think it's a great thing, but you have to be careful what you pair it with, amp wise and headphones, speakers, and IEMs. Rob Vale spent over 1K on mid-fi, Hume, Kato, OH10s, ER2s, the Olina, and Timeless. Is this a hobby for addicts? Am I an addict? Depends on how quickly you spent that money, and whether or not you say, this is it, I don't need to spend it anymore. If you can't stop, you're an addict. If you can go, okay, I'm done, then you're not an addict. That's the way I look at it. Sounds like you have a pretty good selection there. All right, let's see here. Anthony responded, Jake Scott, I still have an HE 600 that I purchased in the UK in 1997. Wow. Back then, I think I paid about €400. It still works flawlessly. Went to UK headquarters and they replaced pads and band for free. That's awesome. That's really cool. Let's see here. New mic is sounding great. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Headphone under $200 open back. Okay, I know what a closed back one would be. Open back's a little tougher. I haven't heard a ton of them. Let me take a look at my list real quick. Give me a moment. Okay, whoops. There was a problem. Yes, I know. Okay. Why are you, Google? Google did an update on Chromebooks, and it's really annoying. So now you have to like double tap everything, but it's not very responsive right now. Okay, $200 headphones. Let's see. Studios 580s, MDRs 5XX, Deva. If you can boost it just a little above, you could go with the Deva, Hi-Fi Deva Pro. And if you can get an original Sony, or not Sony, Sennheiser HD 580, the black silk is really good. You could, if you want a little bit brighter of a sound, you could go with the Sennheiser 560. So it's got a bigger stage, but it is a little bit on a more bright side and a little more aggressive side for a Sennheiser. All right, let's see what else we got here. And what happened to, there we go. All right. Thoughts on Texar Pro 82s? I haven't tried them. Everybody talks about them. I should give them a listen. Let's see here. I'm blown away by the Olina for $100. Tanya filters fix it. Its only weakness, which is harshness and fatigue. By the way, it's a lot like the Kato in my opinion, but for half the price. Interesting. So you have to change filters on the nozzle. That's curious. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got the blue granite version of the 600s also. Let's see. Let's see. Any closeback better than the Rode NTH 100 on same price range for music, or is it the best? I actually think that the Rode is the best. Now I haven't heard the K361. I've only heard the 371, 371. If you're just looking for a bassy can, with very chill treble, 371. But if you're looking for more balance and a more neutral and natural response, definitely would go with the Rode. Other closebacks in that price point, M40s kind of have to change the pads on them to sound any good and be comfortable. And the Rode does beat the M40s in my opinion. More natural sounding, not as bassy. M50s, the Rode beats them too. In my opinion, the Rode is more natural sounding, more balanced and cohesive, and the M50s have more treble presence and it can be a little piercing and aggressive. K275s I talked about in the review. K275s are leaner and thinner sounding, have a little bit more bass presence, a little more treble presence. Yeah, I would stick with the Rhodes at that price point. Let's see. Have you gotten an Edition XX for not yet? And let's see. Is there a good earpad swap for large ears? 7506, or do I need a bigger headphone? Um, Yaxes are about the largest that I've found that fit it. I'm sure you could probably put some brainwaves on, but it'd be kind of an odd because they have like a more of a not like a rounded square fit to it, so it's kind of awkward how things can go on those. Not sure about that one. I'm not even sure if Deconi offers. I know Yaxi does. But again, even then they're still a little bit kind of smallish. Okay. Sorry, I lost my spot here. You suggested too many items. I was taking to narrow it down for me after watching your review on Blonde 03. Your review was spot on, so I'm looking for my next upgrade under $100. Sorry about that. All right, I think I skipped a couple. What's your favorite female vocalist and female vocal song? And that actually, on the top of the chat is a link to my website. And in that website, there's a link for my music recommendations. And on that, there's actually my favorite song by an artist, and that is "We've Just Begun" by Sinne Eeg. And she's my favorite artist. She's just got this voice. But on the right day, Diana Krall could. They're like really really close for me. Those two. All right, let's see here. I checked out the ZMF headphones. He has designed 3 types of pads for the Sennheiser range. Enjoy it. Interesting. I have not heard the ZMFs. In fact, I just found out the other day that ZMF made pads for the Sennheisers. Be curious to see because all the other pads I've ever heard on my 600 series altered the sound differently, and I didn't care for that. I always went back to the original OEM pad. So I'd be curious to see if ZMFs keep it pretty close. DT 770 Pro 880 ohm. I don't think I've heard the 80 ohm. I heard the custom studios, but I don't remember hearing the. So if I did, I do apologize. I'm not recalling it at the moment. Let's see. You suggest too many. An upgrade over to Blonde under $100. there's so many options. And it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you want a direct upgrade from the Blonde, you got the Melee. Um, if you want something better than that, then there's many different options. Let's see. M50X isn't that good for me. I have a Brazilian headphone called the Cuba Disco. Destroys the M50X hands down for half the price. And every single part is modular. Now, those modular headphones are really cool. I've never had one where you can fully take them apart, but I've had a lot of them where, you have replaceable parts. Mezze's that way, Sennheiser. But the modular ones where you actually assemble it, that's really cool. Let's see. What else we got here? Dave, have you ever heard the Sennheiser Orpheus? I was lucky enough to listen to it at a show in London for 15 minutes. Just amazing system. Nope, never heard it. When I was at all the audio shows I've ever been to, it's never been there. I'm like, come on. It's always been a Sennheiser booth, except for one audio show. But Orpheus was never there. I guess I'm not lucky in that way. All right, did I miss anybody's questions? And we have 30 minutes left. 30 minutes left to ask. And I was told, and the reason why we're doing 1 hour is because my wife said 4 hours was too long the last time. She was like, 4 hours, this was way too long. It was fun though. And she says, you always do 2 hours. 2 hours is too long. I bet you can't do 1 hour. And so here we are. I'm going to prove I can do a 1 hour live stream. Any questions? So I'm glad that you all are liking this new microphone, the Rode Podcaster. That's good to know. It was interesting when I first got it. I plugged it in and it didn't work with my phone. I was like, is this a PC only, or what's going on? Apple only? And I tried it several times, even changed USB cables and did all kinds of stuff, and it just would not stay connected. And so I started to research it, and they were like, no, it works with Android. You have no problems. And so I started looking up my OnePlus. I was like, okay, what's going on with OnePlus? And I was like, my OnePlus, what's going on? And apparently when I got my Android 12 update, it reset a bunch of settings in the camera settings. And there's a setting to use microphone input or to use the camera or do it auto. So I had to flip it, and bingo, now it works. And so I'm so glad I'm finally able to test it. All right. Do you have any TWS that you like? I bought the Earfun Free Pro 2s and added the Olov tuning on it. I know you don't EQ, but literally every TWS already have EQ correction on it. That's true. TWS is EQ'd. They do use like a DSP type thing. And most of them have some sort of app that you can go in and adjust. I've tried a few. I have back here actually. I reviewed the Moondrops. Didn't like either one of them really very much. Sparks were uncomfortable. Nico Cakes or Necco Cake, however you say that. No. And then I have the Helm Audio. And currently right now, just in are the Grell from Drop. And I really don't use TWS very often. The Grells are really, really finicky. Touch controls are good on it. Fit is okay. In fact, they might be the more comfortable fit for me, but they're finicky in everything else and connection stuff. I've had problems with that, so I haven't really got to listen to them too much because of constantly dropping and things like that. The Helms are extremely comfortable. They do not have touch controls. They're actually all controlled by your phone, and I find that they stay very well connected. But they're not the greatest sonically. They're just a fun, big bass sound, typical TWS type sound. So do I really have one I enjoy? I use them for this being out and about, but I really don't use them very often. I've dabbled with them. Let's see here. I'm looking for a good dongle deck for my Katos. Any suggestions under $100? Even better if there's analog volume and or track skip. Okay, the only ones that I know that have the volume control and track skip that I've used are the X Duo Link, and the V2 is actually really good. Have not heard the one with balance. Do not know about that one. But the original X Duo Link 2021 version, V2 version, is very good. I really do enjoy that. They definitely fixed the flaws from the first one, which was a little too bright and a little too aggressive. The second one has a little bit more of a natural sound to it, a little bit fuller. I really do enjoy that one. But my go-to dongle DAC, and it does work with both Android and Apple, and that is the Periodic Audio Rhodium. It's $50. Truly enjoy it, and I've heard very good responses from people that have purchased it. So Periodic Audio Rhodium is my go-to. As far as a little overly over that price, if you want to extend, Next Drive Spectre X is also a very good one. DAC and amp. I think that one comes in around 100, and you can get it so $130 to $150. Okay, let's see. All right. Wow. Bunch of questions all of a sudden. All right. Oh, awesome. You think that the Aria is better, or it's better than Aria. That's cool. Have you ever heard custom IEMs? I actually have some on order. They just haven't come yet. Waiting. I'm up to about, I think it's close to 6 weeks now. I haven't gotten a response yet. So I'll be able to answer that soon, sometime, hopefully. All right, let's see. You should try the Moondrop Chew and the Tantrum Tanya. I heard they are really good $20 earphones. Okay. I do have the Tanyas in. I just haven't had time to really give them any listening. Moondrop Chew, never heard of that. Emutique for a good closeback. I haven't heard the Emutique, but it seems to get good reviews. Let's see here. The Free Pro 2 isn't on app or app. It's direct on firmware. You change it and stay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for a good dongle deck for my Katos. Oops, sorry. I already read that one. In your experience, what are the best headphones for streaming movies? Streaming movies, so like Bluetooth type of headphone. I don't do that. But as far as sitting and watching a movie like on my computer with headphones, um, I actually really do enjoy it with pretty much any open back that's any good, like a 660S. Really like doing it on a Sundara. The Ananda is really good for it. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm not really picky about that. That's not really something that I do too often. When I watch movies, I'm usually out in the living room watching on TV. Um, and I really don't watch much here as far as like movies on my PC, to be honest. And if I am, I'm using speakers. That's just my usage. Sorry. What's your take on diminishing returns with IEMs and headphones? My addict mind is wondering whether the IEM jump to $500 are worth it. Seems like you stick to the sub 300 with IEMs. I do have higher priced IEMs. In fact, I own a few. I own the CTM DaVinci 10s, which are like $2,600. The Fearless Rollins, which are $1,000. Meze, the Ray Pentas, and a few others. And I've reviewed some. But I think for me, for the most part, the comfort zone where diminishing returns kind of comes into play is $300 to $500, and then everything above that is kind of exceptional in certain areas, and so it kind of depends on what you're looking for. And that goes for headphones, speakers. It kind of depends on where's your comfort zone, and where do you feel like where you're getting the best value, and then is it worthy, if you hear it, is it worthy of paying that extra amount? And that's where reviewers really have to do a better job of portraying the differences and how minute or how massive the differences are, because some are very small and some are really big, and it's a very fine line to tread when you're talking about diminishing returns, and it's hard to explain without somebody actually hearing it. Let's see. At that point, probably just get a Sundara HD 600 or XS. Okay. Olaf job on it was phenomenal. He made a tuning for each ear canal resonance. 6500 hertz is better than my Aria. That's why I bought the Shure S12s. Interesting. So the grells are supposed to be able to do that. You get this like little tuning thing. I haven't messed around with it too much. As I said, I was having problems with it connecting. Curious to see if that is kind of similar to it, where it measures your ear and does whatever it does, and then goes, oh, here's your tuning for it. I have a question. I have an app that or an AP amp that's 5 ohm output impedance, single ended, and 10 ohm balanced. Is that too much? And if so, should I get a new amp or the IFI IE match for IEMs? Just to be safe, depending on, I don't normally run IEMs balanced unless it's something that's really power hungry, like some of the planar ones. But just to be safe, I would get an IE match. And if you do hear hiss, you do hear noises like that, just put the IE match in. Boom, there you go. I use it all the time. IE match. Earfun was kind of disappointing for me. I really don't understand the hype. Sounds like an old lo-fi. Well, unfortunately, a lot of TWS is kind of that way. To me, I haven't been overwhelmed by the sonic abilities of a TWS yet. The Moondrop Sparks were by far the best sounding TWS, but it had many other flaws. So TWS has a long ways to go yet, in my opinion. Let's see. Would the Rode NTH 100 be good complement closeback to my daily HD 560s? Yes. Now, the 560s are going to have a little bit more treble and a little bit more energy because they're elevated and a little bit unnatural in that way. But as far as similarities and the abilities that they can do, yeah, they match up pretty good. Let's see here. Whoops, just totally flipped my page. Here we go. The original tuning on it sucked bad. Oh, on the earphone. Okay, gotcha. What is the best hi-fi player for the price? Hi-fi player as far as a DAP? That's a tricky question, and I'm not really experienced with DAPs. I don't have a ton of them in experience with them. I do only have the Sonys and the Hi-Ds. I had an old Cayenne and Hi-Fi Min Mega Mini. And so I'm not really the one to answer that too much. If that's what you're asking is about when you say hi-fi players as a DAP. Let's see. I bought the Ether CX, and when I try it has no bass and not good bass response. Is that normal? No, something's wrong. Now, they aren't going to be bombastic bass. They're not going to be super boomy, and I assume you've messed around with the filters that you insert into the ears. But it kind of sounds like you're either underpowering them, or there's something wrong with them. One of the two. The Ether Cs do have bass. It's just a different type of bass. It's not the bombastic, boomy, loud. It's very linear sounding, and so it's going to be a little bit more softer and more detailed than it is punchy. Let's see here. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Is there an upgrade to T3 Plus under $100? Depends if you're looking for this same type of sonic. No, but if you're looking for a little bit more detail and a little bit more on the analytical side of it, you go Dunu Titan S, Katori Dauntless, or Edomotic. ER2XR would be a little bit more bassy, or you can go ER2SE and you get a little bit more analytical. Let's see. Always great to see you. Same to you, Andrew. Thank you for swinging by. You got some atriums. How lucky you are. That's awesome. How you liking them? Atriums. I would love to hear them at some point. A lot of people say the T3 Plus is the better option under $100 in the Dunu Titan S, but more like a side grade. They are similar. The differences are the Titan S leans towards being a monitor for stage, whereas the T3 Plus is a little bit more of the enjoyment factor and doesn't quite have the monitoring capabilities. Let's see. Maybe Dave have a different opinion. What are we talking about here, fellas? Matthias, what are we talking about? In my opinion, did I miss something? Let's see. Oh, are you talking about the Tempotech Sonata? I haven't heard the Sonata HD. I heard one of the originals, I think, and that was actually pretty decent. I really did enjoy that. Let's see. What's the best IEM for gaming? I need a large soundstage for understanding where a player is. CTM DaVinci 10 is actually got a really nice soundstage and does a really good job with imaging depth and layering. And I really do. I use it all the time for gaming. I really do enjoy it. Now, keep in mind, my gaming is totally different than most people. I'm not really a first-person player game. I'm more sim racer and also sports. So I'm not looking for the huge wide spaces, so to speak. And then as far as also another one, if you don't want to have a ton of like airiness to it, and a little bit brighter of a sound, you want something a little more mellow. Actually, the Fearless Roland is really good for gaming. It's a little bit more mellow as far as the treble goes, but it does a really good job with imaging, spacing, things like that. SA6 or Oracle, that's a big jump. Would would love to hear both of those. Let's see. Congratulations, great headphone. What do you think of them? I heard my friend CMF Verite Close, fantastic. I like the Verite Close. It's a good headphone. I'd love to get one in for review. Let's see. Are the new Rode headphones as good or better than the Sennheiser 600s? Different sound. 600s are open, and they are different. The 600 series is forward in the mids, like vocals are more present and actually on a little too forward, a little unnatural in that presentation. As far as tone and timbre, they're very accurate, but they're a little too close, uh, so to speak. Whereas the Rode is more balanced and accurate in its presentation of that. And then treble wise, the 600s normally are a little bit more elevated in that area, and in bass the Rodes are a little bit better. Soundstage wise, obviously Sennheiser is going to win just because they're open backs. All right, let's see here. But in my opinion, the Rode is the better monitor because you want a close back for monitoring. Max, you're very welcome. Which hi-fi player do you recommend on budget? The Heidi's AP80 Pro. The thing's awesome. Very small, very easy to use. It is a little bit clunky on UI. It takes a few moments to get used to, and it's really, really annoying to download music. But once you follow the instructions and do it exactly to a T, as they say, and trial and error it, you can get the music on there, and it plays very well. If you depend on how big budget is, if you can go up to about the $300 price point, the Sony A105 is very good. and that's Android and a lot easier to load music on. I had Stelios, so I found that the metallic drivers covered, but loved the Voce, or excuse me, the Verite close. Atriums are wider soundstage and fantastic with timbre. Awesome. That's one thing ZMF has always done good with is tone and timbre. So that's good to know that the Atrium is still maintains that. Yeah, the Noble hybrids are supposed to be pretty good. I haven't heard them myself either, but a lot of people recommend those. They say that they have really good sound. And there was another one that somebody recommended from another pretty big name company. It'll come to me. I can't remember now. All right, let's see. Incredible bass on the Atrium. That's good to know. All right, let's see here. Got to start scrolling here really fast. Any monitoring IEM recommendation for guitar player for live performance under 150? Yes. The acoustics R110s are insanely good. If you want a little bit different of a build, you can go with the acoustic R210s, which have the same sound, just a different way that they're designed. Both are fantastic. Love them. Highly recommend those. Also, you could go with a Katori Dauntless or the Dunu Titan S. It kind of depends on a fit and which way you're looking, but the acoustics will give you the best for on stage. Highly, highly recommend those. I have a review on my website, which is linked at the top of the comments of the acoustic R110s. All right, let's see here. Yes, Aria does have grain in the vocals and inconsistency in the highs. Let's see. I was responding to the guy about the options on 100. Ah, gotcha. I said about the Dunu before you. You beat me. All right, let's see here. Thanks for your answer. Good closeback companion to the 6XX between the same price point and up to $600. Closebacks, again, kind of limited. You could go Fossex T60 Argon. That's a good companion to the 600. Obviously, you can go with the Rode NTH 100s, as we were just talking about. If you could get an Odyssey LCD to close the new version on sale, sometimes you can get them used for around $600. Need a good amplifier for that, though. All right, let's see. Thank you for your answer. Let's see. How loud is loud enough to hurt your hearing? Optimal listening is between 65 and 75 dB. If you listen at 85 dB, I think they say 85 dB is the cutoff, and where you're not going to damage anything above 85 dB is. But I find 85 dB on most gear is extremely loud, so I tried to limit myself to 65 to 75 dB listening. I did a write up on the website actually. All right, let's see here. Waiting for the Shure S12s and bought the Moondrop Kato tips together. People say it's a very good. I didn't try that. I would think it would be a very good option. I like the CTM dual flange on the S12. You got the Rode headphones a week ago, and I wear them anytime I can. And you're wearing them right now. Awesome. Yeah, Wesley, those things are awesome. They made it so hard for me to do other reviews. I'm like, I want to wear these like all the time. Let's see here. IEMs for gaming that are good are the Tantrum Ola, Dunu, Falcon Pro, Moondrop, Blessing 2, SA6, Monarchs. Okay. Only ones I've heard are the Ola and the Blessing 2. And yeah, I don't recommend the Ola, but if you do, that's fine. And the Blessing 2 is good for gaming. That's true. Let's see. Have I tried any Grotto X series? I have not. Hoping to get one in at some point. Under $200, which open headphone do you recommend? Opens at $200. Kind of answered this already. If you can go $20 more, you can get a Deva Pro. A little bit less, you've got a few other options like a 580 from Sennheiser. Not the 5.8X, that's a totally different headphone. You want to get like a Sennheiser 580 Black Silk. Um, something like that. Let's see. Is there a monitoring IEM that has specifically a lot of detail in the bass frequencies that would be great for a bass guitarist? Hmm. Um, that's a good question. The acoustics are pretty good there, but I'm not sure it would be exactly what you're looking for. Um, there's a couple of companies like Clear Tune Monitors. They build specifically for certain types of musicians. ADV does the same. You might want to check on some of them and read up on on their website which model. I can't think of one off the top of my head specifically for that. But they're fairly competitive in price. They're not super overly priced, and I recommend both of those companies: CTM Clear Tune Monitor or ADV Sound, adv-sound.com. Um, how do you usually get things in for review? Dan's Audio talked openly about only being able to afford cheap things. That must suck. Makes me wish reviewers would just network together to lend gear. Um, okay, so how do I get gear in? Several vendors have reached out to me over the years and have linked up with me and sent me stuff. Linsel, Keep Hi-Fi, Hi-Fi Go, for example. Manufacturers, I've kind of built some relationships with over time. And what I did when I first started the channel, because I was purchasing everything, I still do purchase a lot of gear, was that um, I made a little letter, a form letter that just introduced me as a reviewer and said how, what my approach was to a channel and things like that. And I just went on to each manufacturer's website and the inquire us or contact us form. I just plopped it in there, and a few of them reached back out to me and were like, "Hey, we're interested," or "Hey, you need to grow, you need to get to a certain amount," and things like that. And then some other manufacturers just came along, just randomly, just sent me an email, but like, "Hey, we saw your channel, thought you might be interested." Um, so yeah, that's kind of how it is. You just have to kind of muddle through and go along, and as long as the funds thing, that's hard. I totally get it. It's tough. Funding a channel gets expensive, and especially if you have a wife or kids or anything like that, you do have priorities at home. So I totally understand the frustrations. Money doesn't grow on trees. I wish it did, or I wish it just kind of came out of the clouds. When it rains. All right, let's see here. Hopefully everyone's having a good audio filled weekend. Yep, sure am. Have you done a video review of your top of the range IEMs you have and love? No, I haven't reviewed the CTM DaVinci 10 yet. It is on the schedule though. Let's see here. Like ranking or just talking about all of this as favorite sets all together. I um, like rankings or just talking about it. Sure, I could probably do something like that also, Rob. I do have a rankings list. Um, you can get to it through my website, or all the descriptions of every video has it. Best IEM under $200 for female vocals. Um, S12, I actually like with females, but you do have to change the tips. The Kato is also really good with female vocals, and um, the C Audio Yum, the original, is actually really good with female vocals. I do wish I had a little bit more detail though. All right, I got about 5 minutes here. Let's see. Best IEM. Do you recommend spin fits? I I have decent experience with spin fits, and they seem to work fairly well. It just kind of depends. I just randomly pop tips on whichever one works and sounds good. Is usually how I stick with it. Would you describe the Rode as energetic? I have the Sandora and the Kato for reference. No, the Rode is not like overly energetic. It's a natural energy. So if the track or the performance has energy, it'll reveal it, but it's not like all the time, like, yeah, like that. It's not elevated in any way. The Rode is a very natural, neutral sound. I tend to EQ low bass, low highs on my ears, like ER2SE. Can you explain my sound signature? Hmm, kind of interesting. So you boost your sub bass regions, and you boost the low bass, or excuse me, the low treble. I don't know, you're confusing me there a little bit. What do you do in between? Is it V'd out, or is it? I mean, it might be somewhat of a N shape. It depends on what you do in between. All right, let's see here. Money is made from paper that comes from. Okay, true, true. I'll give you that. All right, let's see. I recommend Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless as a closeback companion for the 6XX. Haven't heard that one. Interesting. And You Midnight, everyone loves. Hope you can get it. I actually have one in. A review coming soon. No spoiler alerts. All right. We are at 7:59, and I told my wife 1 hour. You got bonus time if you showed up early, because I somehow just managed to hit the go live button when I didn't mean to. So, Campfire Audio, 64 Audio, or Vision Ears IEMs. Vision Ears, I have reviewed a couple on my channel. Campfires haven't gotten any, and Audio 64s haven't. I did hear them at audio shows very briefly. All right, so as I said, an hour, and I promised my wife, I said I can do an hour live stream. So we're going to have to cut it off, sadly. Very good questions. I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody showing up. Had a lot of people show up tonight. Do appreciate everybody that shows up, and all your questions and all your support and your kindness. And I really do truly enjoy being on live with you all. And we'll have to do this more often. But at this time, unfortunately, I have to go. So thank you for your impressions of the microphone. It sounds like it's going to be sticking around for the future. And I will go through the list and try to answer questions that are coming through right now. But anyways, you all have a fantastic night and an enjoyable Sunday. And I'll talk with you later. And remember to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy. Bye-bye.